Here on this question, we have a radical. And the first thing you want to do with a radical is isolate it. We want to isolate the radical. So we can take away 4 from both sides, and we'll get the radical 2x plus 6 equals x minus 1. Once you isolate the radical, that means you can square both sides. So square root of 2x plus 6 all squared, the square root and the square cancel each other. So we'll just get 2x plus 6 equals x minus 1 squared, which we can also write like this. That reminds us that we can FOIL this. So we'll have first times first, outer times outer, inner times inner, and last times last. And that last times last gives us plus 1. And now we can combine some like terms. X squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 2x plus 6. And then we can get everything on one side equal to 0. And the reason for that is because this is a quadratic. To solve quadratics, you get everything on one side equal to 0, preferably with the x squared term being positive. So right now we'll have 0 equals x squared minus 4x minus 5. This is a BC quadratic because the quadratic's in the format of ax squared plus bx plus c. And for a BC factoring situation, you need two numbers that add to b and multiply to c. So our two numbers need to add to -4 and multiply to -5. What two numbers do that? -5 and +1. So x minus 5 and x plus 1. And now we have our zero product rule, which is the idea that these two parentheses are multiplied together with an answer of 0. That could only happen if one of them actually was 0. So according to the zero product rule, you set them both equal to 0. And here, when you add 5 to both sides, you get 5. When you take away 1 from both sides, you get -1. So we have 5 and -1. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that our answer here is C, because for radical equations, you always want to plug your answers in and check them. So this is a nice decoy question here, because a lot of people are probably going to do all the right stuff almost, and then get answer choice C and get this question wrong. So if we plug in the x equals 5, we'll get square root of 2 times 5 plus 6 plus 4 equals 5 plus 3. So square root of 16 plus 4 equals 8. 4 plus 4 equals 8, and that's okay. But if we do the x equals -1, we have square root of 2 times -1 plus 6 plus 4 equals -1 plus 3. So that's -2 plus 6, which is the square root of 4 plus 4 equals 2. And so we'll have 2 plus 4 equals 2, which is just not right. So the -1 didn't work, but the 5 did. And the answer here is B.